So I'm watching a Oilers game right now.
Nice.
It's like minus fucking almost 20.
Oh my
here,
gosh.
Oh yeah, it's cold.
So you're in Edmonton, right?
Yep, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Awesome. I come from a hockey family, so we're an Avs family. But we have Oilers here in Tulsa. Yeah.
Oh wow, Avalanche. Okay.
He's like, get this bitch out of here. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. That was the funniest shit I've seen in forever. Like, oh my gosh. That was so amazing. And I loved the kind of the parallels to like the Between Two Ferns film. It was like that, but like way better. Because I love that laugh that's like you know, with native comedy, it's like inside jokes. You know, and there's just so much of that, and yeah. But okay, I have some questions, and then we can turn it to the audience. Do you want to tell us just a little bit about the process of how you had the film made? You know, making it independent comedy, and was it as crazy as the film itself was?
So the idea of it came like over 15 years ago. And I was living in Boise, Idaho with Black Horse Low, my friend Ron Torres, and a few other filmmakers in a house. And it was just a running joke to go to bars and clubs and stuff like that and just say, oh, I'm Little Victor. Oh, I'm Little Victor. Don't you know who I am? Right? And just have it be a joke. And then Black Horse came to me and said, hey man, what if we made like a silly ass version of Smoke Signals part 2? And I was like, oh, what? And it was pretty crazy. There was like lasers and all this shit. It was like Little Victor goes to space kind of thing. And I toned it down and I pitched it as a short film. And I pitched it at Imaginative Film Festival for a grant. We did not win, but a lot of people and producers in that pitch session said, you should make this. This has something. You should make this into a feature. If not a feature, then a series. And so I got to work on it with my buddy Sam Miller, and we pumped out the script. And so that's where like the origin of all of it came from. But yeah, just getting the funding, it's a little bit different up here in Canada than it is in the States. In the States, I feel like it's a lot of who you know and who you're bumping shoulders with. Up here, it's just an application. Like, as long as you're not just Cree or First Nations or Métis or whatever, but as long as you know, have that status, you can apply. And with the pretendian shit, there was a lot of people that were not native, that were claiming to be native, that got that funding, and then I actually have my status. So, yeah,
wow.
we had to debunk that. So that's why, like, the whole, you know, Kate being a pretendian thing was like so funny for us to like write that in there. And we actually left that open, the jokes for her, depending on who we cast. Like, I auditioned Puerto Rican people, blacks, whites, everyone, and we left those jokes open to whoever we cast. And we ended up casting Anna for Kate. So we were like, let's just make us like a pretendian thing. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, I thought that was so funny. So I'm Cherokee and Choctaw, and I hear it everywhere I go whenever I tell someone I'm Cherokee. You know, no matter where I go in the country, they're like, oh yeah, me too. And I'm like, hmm. And what's funny is, at first I was like, hey, but my little brother is blonde hair and blue eyed. So, yeah, I thought it was great. Yeah, we definitely, that's something, you know, we can relate to here in the States about people getting funding and opportunities that are based on family lore and not actual community. And okay, my next question. Out of curiosity, because I work in art department, so I'm fascinated with like clearances and stuff. So did you have to spell it with a K for like legal reasons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how much into this I want to get, but I gave the script to every single person involved with smoke signals, and there was one person that disagreed, and I won't say who, and we had to change things up for that. And make sure that we weren't going to get sued. And it's really unfortunate because this project is completely separate. This is not Smoke Signals Part 2. It's completely different. And someone on the other end did not approve and said, at first was like, I love this is great, make it. And then when it came down time to make it, said, actually, you don't have my support. And I was like, oh man, really? And yeah, that's why we had to chuck that stuff in there. And that's why I went to the lawyer in the film. Rosie Gets You Money. We had to call the remake Dictor. We did that all so that we wouldn't get in trouble.
That's awesome. I love that part where she looks into the camera. Like, it's different. Let's see. Yeah, so there were so many cameos, and I noticed a cameo from your sister, Crystal.
Yeah.
I co-starred Fancy Dance with her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The back of my head.
My sister played a stripper.
Yeah, I was the strip club bartender. So yeah, but what was it like reuniting with everyone and getting the band back together? Have you been in touch with them like since the 90s, like throughout your life?
Yeah, 100%. And my sister's part was actually bigger. We had to cut it down. There was a whole scene, like probably 20-minute scene of people watching Smoke Signals Part 2, getting mad, throwing things at me and all that stuff, and my sister had a bigger part in that, but we had to cut it. We had to chop it down to stick with, the story and the narrative and stuff like that, but reuniting with everyone was great. As soon as I had this idea, my executive producer and co-writer, Sam Miller, was like, are we going to be able to get everyone involved? And I was like, 100%. And he goes, well, when can you do that? I was like, right now. And within one day, within about, I'd say 2.5 hours, I got everyone on board. I made phone calls. I was like, hey, I got a script. You want to read it? If yeah, sweet. And we did it. And it's like, this is such a unique piece. It's such a niche project that, like, I didn't make this to be huge and blow up or anything. It was just a fun thing that I wanted to do with my friends, and be dorks and crack jokes and be dysfunctional and have a fun time doing it. And we did that. And everyone that I got in touch with was on board with that. So that's rad.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Let's see. I think I have 2 questions. We can turn it over to the audience. So you played Cousin Biscuits in Echo. Right? Is it right? Yeah. Okay. I was like, wait, no.
Yeah.
The dog's name's not Biscuits.
No.
You were Biscuits.
No, I played Cousin Cornbread.
I'm Choctaw and both of my parents are deaf, so I grew up fluent in ASL, and so Echo was just like so special to me. I'm obsessed with it. I cosplay as her all the time. And so what was it like learning ASL for that?
Oh, okay. This is not Victor related.
Sorry.
That was it. No, all good. That was a challenge. We did about 4 months pre-production on that. So I had an ASL instructor, and my character specifically, when I talked with the producers or signed with the producers, I said, I don't feel like my character in that would be signing correctly. I don't think that, who does he sign with? And he only signs with his dog, right? Billy Jack. And so that's why instead of like, I gotta hold my phone here, instead of stand like this, or like understand, like that's where that joke comes from.
Okay.
And I put that in there, and the producer was like, yeah, that works. Doug Bridloff, he's amazing. He does a bunch of slam poetry. I have some really great ASL instructors. It sucks because like being fully immersed in that, I was doing ASL every day, and now I'm back home and I'm not signing with anyone. So I sign with my daughter and a couple of my buddies, but that's kind of it. But learning that and having that much, that big of a load for that time period. We were down there in Oklahoma for 6 months working on that, and I was down there for 7.5. Yeah, it's so that was a whole different ballgame for me.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. I think you did great. And that's kind of how I thought of it, like cousin sign language, like because that's how like my cousins and aunties and stuff like sign to my dad, like they do their best, but but you can still see like the relationship. Anyway, sorry, I had to ask that question. And then my last question before we turn it to the audience is, kind of what are like some big similarities or differences you see between like Indigenous comedy, up in Canada and, other stuff that's coming out of the South, like, like Res Dogs and just other stuff.
I don't know about like a difference. We're all niche. We're all Nijao people. We're all native. So it's all along the same lines of, something that we innately have in us, which is automatically hilarious. But it's just a difference of northern jokes versus southern jokes. That's it, really. Up here, we say ever sick or scope.
Oh no! His phone probably froze to death.
In Canada.